Hey, Dante.
So, Lenny.
So I got a question.
Yeah?
Do you want to make my heart beat like an 808 drum?
No.
All right, well, maybe the people do. Welcome back to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy, Letty, joined again by, I will not call him my producer extraordinaire because he has broken me. I am a broken man to start this podcast this week. Let's speed run the podcast that they won't hear really quickly. So I hit us with a arriba, viva la taste. And long live the taste, don't get me wrong. Long live the taste. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep listening, please. We have plenty of topics to come, but I've got to vent to the people for a moment.
Clearly broken them because the energy's not matching.
No, this is pure frustration oozing out of me. I call him the producer extraordinaire every week, people. I do. I trust this man with the clicks, the cameras, and the sound every week with my life, my Tuesday livelihood.
Didn't know this was a life or death situation.
I trust him with my life for 2 hours every Tuesday. And some Tuesdays, like the one a few weeks ago where I was like, all the stuff good, and he didn't turn the microphones to the on the desk on, so I do the lip lining up thing without any fucking audio. Remember that one?
I do remember that.
Okay. And then this time I did this whole bit about like, hey, Dante, let me ask you again. What country, what state closest touches Africa?
And
that's the United States, by the way, people, just if I'm not clear enough.
I think the United States is the only country with states, right?
Sure. I don't know. Are you positive? I don't
think everywhere else it's like provinces or subsects or something.
Providence is in Rhode Island.
No, province, not Providence.
Sure. Okay.
My guess was Maine.
Oh, wow. You got that? I can't believe you knew that. It's like you've not heard that one before, have you?
No, never.
Well, funny follow-up question I have. Did you know which state is the whitest in America?
Where I would guess Kentucky.
No, dude, not even close. You fucking idiot. It's Virginia. It's Virginia, man.
That actually makes sense.
Speaking of great white hopes, though, have you heard about Timothy Chalamet?
What's this man doing this time?
He broke a 45-year record. He broke a 45-year record. Could you guess who was by it?
Talking about who broke this record that we don't know about yet?
Yeah, the 45-year-old record of holding the top spot in the box office twice within an 8-month span. Timothy Chalamet, by the way, has equated to almost $1 billion in ticket sales off of his hit movie Wonka, as well as Dune. Interestingly enough, he's not in the Marvel shit, right? He's not picking Michael Bay movies. He's out here doing the Lord's work, dropping great movies like Dune Part 2.
Yeah. Honestly, 2 huge, successful bangers.
Mm-hmm.
You think he does a 3-peat? Does he have anything else in the works?
He's working on the Bob Dylan movie right now. So not going to be the same.
Bob Dylan is.
You're not from Virginia, clearly.
No, I am not.
He's a musician, but that's probably not going to be a box office hit. But he apparently helped Austin Butler do the Elvis role, like get the Elvis stuff down. And Elvis, I mean, he won or was nominated for a bunch of awards for his portrayal of Elvis. So I think this is probably a good award run thing for Chalamet to get into. But you never guessed who was the guy who held the record 44 years ago. There's no way you could guess the answer, right? You've never heard this before.
No, I mean, John Travolta.
This is all. Oh, whoa!
Am I 2 for 2?
Yeah, holy crap. Good for you, dude. Nate, what movies has John Travolta been in? Could you take a stab at that?
Fuck.
Huh.
Grease.
Whoa. What's the other one?
Not Face Off, is it?
No. Oh, that's 1997.
Damn. I can't think of any John Travolta movies. I know I've seen him in movies.
Saturday Night Fever was the other one.
Ah, okay. Yeah?
Yeah. I've not seen. Have you seen Grease?
No, but I was in an 8th grade play of Grease.
And I've seen the music video for Mesmerized by Ja Rule and Ashanti. So I feel like I've seen it.
All right, cool. So we both experienced it in some facet.
Yeah, like we have a moderate understanding of the film Grease.
Yes.
I've never seen Saturday Night Fever. I assume there's cocaine in it.
You think that's what gives their fever?
Well, what else would a Saturday Night Fever be other than cocaine in the 70s?
In the 70s, it's that boogie fever, that disco fever. Come on.
That boogie shoogie.
I assume that's why you did the whole dance thing. I thought this was a dance movie.
Well, yeah, but you don't disco without cocaine.
Is that facts?
Feels like it is. I mean, again, I haven't seen the
70s. Do you know that for fact?
No, but if you could go back in time, would the 70s be the time period?
Yeah, probably. 70s, 80s. Late 70s.
Yeah. Oh. When it starts getting a little more accepting around here.
Yeah.
I mean, that 70s show is pretty awesome.
Oh, well, yeah. They were more about weed than cocaine.
I mean, I primarily base my knowledge on the 70s and the 80s on the like 10 seasons of that 70s show and the 1 season of that 80s show. So,
that 80s or that 90s?
No, it's that 80s.
You talking about the remake they did like last year or 2 years ago?
No, they did that 80s show like 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
15 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't. Can you look this up really quick? Because you've now intrigued me. Are we ever going to get a second season to that 90s show?
Let's see.
Did you watch it?
I did.
It was good.
It was.
I kind of want to watch again. It's weird that doesn't come up in my Netflix algorithm. That was on Netflix, right?
I think so. Yes, it was on Netflix. Confirming it will premiere sometime during the summer of 2024.
So we're getting one. Is it filmed?
Soon. I mean, if they're saying it's coming summer of 2024, I got to.
When was that article? When was that article?
This article is from Screen Rant, and this was posted February 1st of this year.
Oh, so like
a month and a half ago.
Wow, dude. Wow. I'm shocked by that. I'm shocked that we haven't heard anything or haven't gotten any like trailers or anything. Does it say if Topher's back? Or what's her name? We know Danny Masterson's not. Did you hear what happened to him, by the way?
He was the one that got arrested, right?
Yeah, but did you hear what happened in jail?
Oh no.
This was like maybe 2 months ago now or a month ago. They tried to kill him.
I thought you say they R-worded him.
They probably did that too, if I had to guess. Yeah, they tried to kill him, and then he got moved to a lesser security prison.
Oh.
Or something like that. Because they had dropped him in like a dangerous prison. I think they wanted him dead.
Hey, man. Scum of the earth.
Yeah, not a good guy. Not a good guy. Not coming back.
I'm not seeing any confirmation for who's coming back or not.
IMDb doesn't have like any.
I suppose I could have went to IMDb.
Maybe it shows like the cast and it shows like their episodes going forward. Because Red and Kitty, who are like main actors in it, so you have to imagine they're back. Who played the daughter on it? I feel like she's done other stuff now more recently. Not the daughter. Yeah, the granddaughter.
Yeah, Callie Haverda.
That doesn't help me.
That's who played her. I don't fucking know. I don't think we've seen any of her other shit, so. Moving on.
Nope, we haven't. I have no idea who that is. I've got no insight.
No.
I don't know who I've never seen The Lost Husband. I do like Josh Duhamel, though.
But it is crediting most of the people till 2024 on episodes. So it looks like most of them will be back. I'm not seeing anything for Fez.
The show came out in 2023. I felt like it's longer than that.
Yeah, I thought it was like 2 years ago. It must have been like beginning of 20. Yeah, it was literally January of 2023.
Okay, so we're getting like it's a year and a half between seasons, but the strike probably fucked that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that's where I've based all my knowledge from. I mean, I know the 90s enough, so I don't really need that. And like, I certainly know the 2000s.
Yeah, but it looks like aside from Kitty and Red, there's no return of like the original cast.
Oh, I feel like Fez has got to show up. Isn't he running a hair salon or something?
Yeah, I mean, they credit him for the 3 episodes in 2023, but nothing for this year's run. Same thing with Topher Grace, Tommy Chong, Mila Kunis. None of them are credited for this year.
Ashton.
No Ashton either.
Damn. Oh, well, that's exciting news, though. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. We found a topic we didn't even know we had. Thank God you didn't record the beginning of the podcast, or we would have never learned this.
Yeah, there we go. Silver lining.
This is a big W for you, dude.
That's why you're all along.
That's why you're the producer, dude. You know what's crazy and ironic, Dante, is I think I complimented you on the Ariba thing.
You did.
Yeah.
And the people
really
will never get to hear that.
Yeah. You really blew that within like 5 minutes. I called you a great producer. I was like, this guy, he sets me up. I just knock it down. 3 minutes later, it was like, you're a fucking piece of shit. I hate you. Why are you trying to kill me?
Oh man.
We have a lot of other great topics to get into here. Varying in interest levels, I'm sure, for some people. But yeah, we're gonna work through some stuff. I have some stuff that I'm excited for. I actually have one that I think you'll be excited to hear. Okay. And before we get there, though, can you educate me on something?
What's up?
Talk to me about the Twisted Childhood universe.
So
speaking of that 70s show, right? Danny
right?
Twisted Childhoods.
There we go. Or the Nickelodeon documentary.
That's an original one.
That wasn't in the last take, right? The Twisted Childhood universe is another cinematic universe. Thank you, Marvel.
Exciting.
Starting with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
So that was in the Twisted Childhood universe.
They are considering that the set-off film of the Twisted Childhood universe.
And now we're getting a sequel to that.
There's a sequel to that. Basically, this is all just Disney properties that fell out of, what is it, copyright or trademark?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting a sequel to that. And then also, Jesus Christ, they're doing 3 more this year, according to this article. We're getting Bambi the Reckoning. Peter Pan.
So she's probably killing the hunter.
Maybe. Yeah. Get back. Get even. Yeah, that was my mom's.
She's just like Liam Neeson's in them.
Yeah. A particular set of skills.
It's sniffing for berries and frolicking through the woods.
Oh God. And then we got Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
That sounds like a Michael Jackson documentary.
Hey, allegedly. All right. People like to talk shit. And then we got Pinocchio Unstrung.
Sounds like a weird porno.
I mean, I assume that's to do with the fact that he's like a marionette doll, right? So like, cuts his strings. He's got his freedom, doing his own shit.
He uses.
Who gives a fuck if he's lying or telling the truth? Fucking you up.
He probably lies all the time in it.
Yeah.
Do you saw Blood and Honey?
Do you saw?
No, you saw.
I saw like the first like 10 minutes of it, and then I turned it off.
Oh, okay. I thought you had actually watched it. I was hoping you could like enlighten me.
Hey, maybe in a future taste test, I'll throw that down for you.
What did they do in the first 10 minutes? Can you at least give us a preview?
Basically it was it Christopher Robin's the kid, right?
Yep.
And it starts with like he meets this girl, and this is like years after he left like their land or whatever, and he wants to introduce them to all the characters, Pooh, I forget all the names. Tigger, Eeyore, the little one, Piglet,
the rabbit.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I want you to meet them." And she's like, "Oh, this place isn't real, like whatever, blah blah." He's like, "I'll show you." So he takes them there, but now it's this like barren wasteland, doesn't have any of the original magic, and their whole thing is like, "You left us." And I pretty much shut it off as soon as I saw like Pooh, and I was like, "Oh, this is just horrible."
So like it doesn't look good, and that's why you turned it off.
Yeah, it does not look good at all. I mean, it was cheesy as fuck, even up
it's
to
a low
point,
budget.
but like, yeah, I mean, the fucking movie made $5 million, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna start our whole cinematic universe off of this."
Well, can you get me the budget?
Sorry, I didn't have that written down. Give me a sec.
No, that's fine. I'd be interested because like they're obviously starting a cinematic universe for a reason, and if it made 5 million, what was it, like 500,000 for the budget, maybe?
Bro, actually, it's pretty successful. It was $100,000 budget.
There you go.
Shit. Okay.
Do you know how much they made the first Good Will Hunting for?
First, there's two.
Well, yeah. Sorry, the only.
10
I think it's $1 million. Oh, 10 million? I thought it was only $1 million.
No.
Wow. Okay, I thought it was only $1 million. I mean, that makes sense.
225 in the box office, so still successful.
Yeah, I thought that because I saw an interview of like of Ben Affleck talking about making it, and like, do you know the origins of Good Will Hunting?
No.
So Ben Affleck was already in Hollywood and doing some acting roles, and Matt Damon was getting ready to come out to Hollywood to start doing some stuff, but was in a acting class still. And for one of their like final projects or something, they had to write a scene and act it out. So Matt Damon and he asked Ben if he'll come in and do a scene with them. And he says, yeah. And then they end up writing a scene that ends up being one of the scenes for Good Will Hunting. And Ben Affleck was the one doing the interview. He was like, we thought it was good, but he's like, nobody in the class really thought it was great, to be honest. But we thought it was real. We had something there. So then he said it was in the era of like, filmmakers. He referenced Clerks and some other stuff. But like when the whole thing was being able to kind of guerrilla filming where like you don't have high budgets and kind of making your own movies to an extent. So I ended up writing the whole story and everything. And they were asking Ben Affleck if him and Matt had ever had like a discussion of maybe like who was going to play which role. And was there ever a discussion of Ben Affleck playing Will Hunting? And he said no, because originally the idea was Matt's, first of all. But he said, secondly, like at that time, he was kind of getting typecast a lot as like, if you think like Dazed and Confused, some other stuff, he was playing like a bully a lot, like kind of a jock bully. And he saw it as an opportunity with being able to have like a comedic role and more of like the friend who's funny and like, and just a different side of himself. And it was interesting to him to be able to play something different than what he had been playing up until that point in the movie. And they knew that like at that time, the way that you were successful was to bring in the one actor. I think we've talked about that before. That's how Robin Williams ends up getting involved. That like you write a small part that, can go to a more established actor that's very dialogue heavy so that they have something to be invested in, but you don't have to pay them to do like a whole leading role. They just have like a very substantial supporting role in it, and that's what leads to that movie kind of happening.
Oh, fun facts.
Is this childhood universe or whatever getting like cinematic releases, or is this a streaming thing?
I know at least the second Blood and Honey is a cinematic release. I didn't look on the others. For them to drop 4 in 1 year, I got to imagine that some of them are probably going to be straight to streaming. But what I didn't tell you was the last film in the 6 films they have plotted out for this, slated to release next year, is Pooniverse Monsters Assemble.
That's what I had seen for a title. Yeah.
It's their end game.
Again, Pooniverse sounds like it could be a porn, right?
A la 2 Girls, 1 Cup type of shit.
Yeah. Or like Poontang.
Okay.
Poontang. You know what I think also probably happened is like that movie The Terrifier. I feel like became so wildly popular.
Not familiar with that one.
It's just like I've told you about it before on here. It's just a slasher film about a clown that doesn't speak, that like it's super goofy and weird, but it has like a pretty big following at this point, and they've been able to make 3 movies out of it. And I think each one has grown, and I feel like that is kind of the outline that they had for the Blood and Honey thing. Like,
so they have 2 movies. The third one's in production for this year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I knew that they had gotten signed on for a third one, but like the second one did really well. People like love the first movie. I've tried watching it. Like I don't really enjoy it that much. It doesn't hit me. I don't know.
Just from looking it up on IMDb, it looks like it started as a short in 2011 before they made the full movie in 2016.
Do you have how much money it made?
No, I have it on IMDb. That doesn't give me budgets.
I think it's kind of culty. Like it grew a following.
Yeah.
And it grew enough buzz to get a second movie.
It made 416,000. Sounds like a bomb.
Like I said, I think what it was culty. So like it might not have done anything in the movie theater, but it grew a lot of buzz online.
I mean, the second one made 15.7. So
yeah. So I mean, look at that, like that increase. What's that fucking like 15x your money or something? I don't know.
30 times.
Math me, you know. Speaking of horror movies that I'm far more interested in, last week we talked about Neve Campbell returning to Scream.
Yeah.
Right. And there's one other horror movie from that late 90s, early 2000s that I loved. Like there was 2 horror movies in that era that spawned a bunch of other ones, because you ended up getting like Urban Legends and some other slashers that came out after this. But there was 2 that really blew up at the time. One being Scream.
Yeah.
The other being I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Ah, okay.
Have you seen I Know What You Did Last Summer?
No, I don't even know what you did last summer.
Well, last summer, pretty low key. I didn't actually do much, to be honest.
I meant the fucking movie.
But as far as leading actors who have not been in these in a movie for a while, and like we haven't gotten so there was an I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show that came out about 2 years ago with Madison Shipman, I think. No, not Madison Shipman. Madison Eisman. And that was an Amazon Prime TV series. That actually didn't end up being, it was a little weird. It wasn't great, but it grew on me as the show progressed and I watched the whole thing. But the originals came out in the late 90s. It was like 1999, I think, when the original I Know What You Did Last Summer came out.
97.
And it had 97. Wow. Okay. So then was the sequel 99 or 2000?
98.
Wow, that quickly. Fuck, I'm not normally that bad at that.
Also, I just love the titling for sequels in that time. I still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, it's a good title. It's a good sequel, dude.
That's great.
So the original, though, has this amazing cast, and it has Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Matthew Lillard. Am I missing anybody else from the original one? I think that sounds about right for who you have in the original. But in the sequel, you return with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., and you also had like Brandy. And Brandy, and was it? Can you look up the sequel? was it Tay Diggs? Was the other dude in it?
You think of Mekhi Phifer?
Yeah, okay, it was Mekhi. Yeah, and like Tay Diggs, Mekhi Phifer, not a huge difference there.
Agree to disagree.
But it was this whole thing of like same thing with Scream, where you end up with these like this cast of really young actors, and it's kind of hard to put in perspective now because obviously like Scream, I think Nev Campbell is still somewhat relevant. People know Courtney Cox Arquette and like or Courtney Cox. I don't think she's an Arquette any longer, but Scream has also maintained relevancy for a lot longer, whereas like that franchise was very much in its era and it didn't grow past that. But to put in perspective, like in 1997, those 4 actors were pretty fucking big at that time. Like Matthew Lillard obviously is in Scream and he's in this. So you've
Was
got
that a slasher?
I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So backstory on that. So basically kids get drunk on like the 4th of July or something one summer, and they're drinking and driving, and they end up hitting a guy, and they kill him. And a year later, somebody comes back and starts killing off all of those friends, and is like, I know what you did. Like they keep it a secret and don't tell anybody, and he starts killing them all. But yeah, at the time you have like Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are huge. Obviously, Sarah Michelle Gellar like goes on from here to do Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all this other stuff. She marries Freddie Prinze Jr. Her, Matthew Lillard, and Freddie Prinze Jr. all do like Scooby Doo. It was just a very well cast like it crew of Hollywood actors right before their rise to prominence, and it's one of those things that was like a launching pad for their careers. It's a very good slasher, by the way. It's like super enjoyable, I think, and the sequel's pretty good too. The sequel is the same characters returning, and it's obviously like, hey, like I still know motherfuckers. And this Jennifer Love Hewitt is kind of in the Sidney Prescott role of like, I'm trying to move on with my life. She's kind of a recluse. She's at college, and she wins a radio show like quiz that gets her a trip to an island, and it takes place on like a resort.
We need to bring those back.
Radio show trips.
Yeah, those kind of things.
What if we do that in podcast form?
What do we give people?
A trip to Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's start giving away. Let's go on like Expedia.
I was thinking more working within our budget and like, hey, call in and one random caller will be selected to win a trip to the movies with us.
No. That's like that would be cool. But like, I think it'd be funnier if we go on Expedia and we find, or like Travelocity or something, and we find like the cheapest tickets we can find to fly somebody somewhere, and we give them 2 tickets. We got you a vacation.
We'll fly our viewers in from Nicaragua.
I get they are owed a lot. For the launching of this podcast, I owe them my life. I get a lot of coupons from Cruise America. I could give somebody like an RV for a couple days.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There's an idea here.
Huh.
I don't know. You have to figure out the call-in setup, and we don't do this live, so that would also be.
We can do it live, especially with this setup. We could do this live right now.
Like, how do they win the tickets? Like, what's the quiz?
I didn't think maybe quiz part.
Maybe it'll be a quiz on me.
Shit.
You have to know about me specifically.
So how do I duplicate myself so I could be the anonymous caller?
Do you want to win a trip to Virginia, sir?
Me to Virginia? Hell no.
No, yeah. Like I'm just buying wherever the cheapest plane ticket is. Like imagine we just give somebody like two tickets on like Virgin Airlines or what's the other ones? Frontier, Spirit. 2 tickets, back row, Spirit Airlines. Yeah, you're going to Arkansas.
Oh God.
So the topic that I thought you'd be interested in, because obviously, like I think that for me, like a sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer, even though it's however many years in the past, like it's probably, what do you think it's going to be called? Like I still know what you did 20 years ago. I still know what you did 30 years ago.
The summer of 97.
Or if it's just called I Still Know.
I Still Know.
That's actually not a bad title, in all honesty. But you kind of lose the plot by not having like the last summer part of it.
Yeah.
I know what happened the last summer of the 1990s.
Yeah.
But there's a series coming back that I think you'll be interested in, or not guaranteed to come back, but is in conversations to get a reboot kind of sequel series. It's a show you like a lot.
Oh?
Do you know what it is?
No.
Yes. What's a show you like a lot?
How I Met Your Mother?
No, they already did that.
That's already done. I would be mad if they brought that back. New Girl?
That's more of a me show.
No, I do like that one too. It is a me show. Fuck you.
How they already do that? What are you talking about?
Didn't that end?
Yeah, but like it didn't get a sequel. It's like How I Met Your Mother got out. How I Met Your Father. Like that got a sequel.
Huh.
There's a show you've talked about on here though, a decent amount.
How don't I know my own shit? Now I'm confused.
Yeah, if this was you trying to win plane tickets, you'd be losing right now.
Fuck. Ask me trivia about myself and I still lose.
It's based on superheroes.
Boys?
No, I didn't even know you watched that.
I didn't like it. I'm so lost right now. What do I like? That superhero show?
I think this show had like a 10-season run.
Oh, Smallville?
Yeah, there you go. We got there. Michael Rosenbaum, the guy who plays Lex Luthor, has a podcast, very good podcast. He does a recap podcast with Tom Wellings, the person who played Clark.
Clark, yeah.
They do a Smallville podcast.
I didn't know that, no.
Where they go episode by episode and
is it just them two, or do they bring on other members of the cast?
I don't know. I think it's primarily them two, but they might bring on other people. But they have been working on it. I guess it got pushed back because of the strike and some things are changing over at Warner Brothers. But they are working on an animated sequel series to Smallville, where all the main actors, with the exception of Chloe, because she got in legal trouble, I feel like, coming back to reprise their roles and in voice roles.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about it being animated.
I think it's an interesting way to take it. I think it's better. I think it has a chance of being better than them coming back in a live action form. Yeah, I think they wouldn't be able to get it off the ground in a live action form, to be honest. And I don't know that like he wants to, I don't know that they'd want to dedicate like the time to doing the live action thing. It's so much easier to just do an animated series and you can still make it good, Yeah.
Okay.
But so you wouldn't be interested in that?
I mean, I'd check it out. I just don't know if it really grasps a level of excitement from me on that initial announcement, but maybe after seeing like an episode of it, I might like it.
Okay. I'd be open to give it a shot. I think it'd be cool. It would be nice because I do think the little bit of knowledge I have on like Superman, I watched a little Lois and Clark growing up. I haven't really watched like the old movies that much. The Brandon Routh Superman movie was pretty bad. Not a huge Man of Steel fan. I've never really gotten into that one. I thought that the Lois and Clark that you get in Smallville is like the best version of that relationship. So it would be nice to see them reprise that because they brought it back in the Arrowverse in one of in one of the Crisis on Infinite Earths that they did, like the crossover. They had
like Tom Welling in there.
Yeah, and her. Yeah, they all came back for like. I think it was for it was like the world's ending and the timelines are crossing type thing.
Yeah.
they went to that world. Lex is in it too.
Actually,
But maybe
I do remember Lex being in it.
But was it that version of Lex, or was it the Lex that you get from Supergirl, which is John Cryer? John Cryer's Lex is definitely in the Arrow crossover, but I don't know if Michael Rosenbaum ended up in that.
Yeah.
Is it Michael Rosenthal?
Rosenbaum?
Is it Baum or Saul? Oh, fuck. Are you looking up if he was in it?
Well, I was pulling up Smallville because you couldn't remember the man's name. It's Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh, so I got it right.
Yeah.
Fuck
Initially.
yeah. Oh, I got to remember. There's somebody in one of my taste test taste test things that's from Smallville.
Oh, okay. I'm excited now.
Would you go back and rewatch Smallville?
Yeah. I haven't in years, but I would. I got to see if it's on any streaming.
It's on Netflix, maybe.
I think so. Most of the CW properties end up on Hulu now.
The CW has its own. It is on Hulu. Seasons 1 through 10 are on Hulu.
Okay.
The CW has its own streaming app also, but it's not on there apparently.
Yeah, I can't find your Lex Luthor, but whatever.
Okay. We got like 2 more topics left before the old taste test here. Dante, break down the Acolyte for the people. You're our resident Star Wars fan.
Am I?
So let us know, like in detail, how you felt about the new trailer for the Star Wars show, The Acolyte.
I think I have no idea what's going on in there, but it looks like a lot of really cool action. Lightsabers.
Yeah,
Jedi.
Lightsabers.
Yeah,
the Force.
That one. Yeah.
There's a red one. There's a green one. There's probably a blue one in there.
Am I supposed to believe the red one is Darth Vader?
I was wondering, like, which, there's a few people who carry red lightsabers. Maybe we're getting Darth Maul.
Oh, I always forgot he was a guy. Yeah,
he is a guy.
Well, I don't know. I forget he exists. Like, I know, like, Darth Vader, because who doesn't? And then Kylo Ren also has a red one, right?
Dude, you are our resident Star Wars guy.
Hell yeah.
That's sick, dude. That was really good. Do you know who Kylo's dad is, dude?
No.
Shit. Han
Solo?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Look at that.
That's his daddy. Who's your daddy?
I gotta say, I do know enough, I guess, to like follow along with talks about, like, as far as like what the Star Wars lore is, but I've never seen a single thing of it.
I have too many things that I want you to watch that I don't really need you to watch Star Wars.
And I would. That's not even like a maybe or I might get to it. No, I just wouldn't.
I would like you to just like, maybe we can have like Steve come on and he'll just talk you through every Star Wars movie.
Yeah, Steve.
And it'll be like you've seen them.
I got a pod episode idea for Steve. Give me Star Wars the abridged version. Give me the entirety of Star Wars in like a 1-hour podcast.
And have it be as negative as you can have it be, Steve. Like, because I know you Star Wars fans like to get real negative on some shit.
And then this fucking idiot.
Like just hit us with all the worst.
Yeah.
I do agree. It was actually, it's the least Star Warsy looking Star Wars thing while being very much Star Wars. Like they're talking about the Force, there's the lightsabers, but then there's the scene with like the hand-to-hand combat, like with the knife. But then like I like the little throw of the Force in there.
So like
that was pretty cool.
From what I see from the trailer, it looks like I don't really have to know too much backstory on Star Wars to watch it. So that kind of entices me.
You say that, but then like it all ties together. So there's going to be some shit we don't understand that they're like, you had to see Ahsoka to like appreciate this. And I'd be like, what?
Why can't it just be its own thing?
You didn't watch the season 2 of the animated series that we had to get this reference?
Hopefully there's small references that I don't need to get, you know?
You don't know about the Clone Wars, brother? What about Bad Batch season 3?
They had 3 seasons of that?
I think they're on season 3 now. That's a guess. Again, we're like, every time we talk about Star Wars, it's just a low-key insult. Like, it's not initially meant to be, but it just turns into it.
I don't mean it as insulting. It seems like an intriguing universe. It's just this.
But I was just talking about it as insulting because it's that stuff. It's that stuff that people who know what they're supposed to be like, what Mocking. Is going on is like yelling at the screen, like, you fucking idiots. Like, that's not what it's talking about. You're like, hey, dude, Hayden Christensen came back though, brother. That dude from Jumper showed up again. Okay. One more left. One more, right? Yeah.
A lot of topics for a man that said he had no topics.
Yeah, well, we get going, you know. And this is a nothing burger, but I did find it kind of interesting. So Anne Hathaway has a rom-com coming out, Dante. We'll probably see this, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's called The Idea of You. You want to pull up a synopsis so we know? No, thanks. So we know what it's about. But I thought the comment that she made was interesting because I guess people are questioning her choosing to star in like a typical rom-com because she's Anne Hathaway. And she said, I don't want to be pigeonholed and placed in a box of what type of films I have to be making because of my age, gender, or because I've won an Oscar. I want to have fun, damn it. It speaks to me. I thought it's really funny that she just dropped her nuts on the table and was like, or because I won an Oscar. Yeah. You think I can't just do stupid fucking movies? I want to just because I won an Oscar, bitch. I'll do what I want. I already won that shit. I already won a motherfucking Oscar. Get off my dick.
Jesus Christ.
And what does her gender have to do with it? Nobody did that have anything to do with this?
Maybe she's a feminist. I don't know.
No, they I assume all women are feminists. Feminists.
You're confusing feminists and communists. It's not the same thing.
Close. Close line though, right? In her age, it's like, I don't know, you're in Hollywood, dude. Like you could be 50 and you'll still look like you're like 35. So what does that fucking mean?
Look at J-Lo.
Yeah. And furthermore, like Diane Lane, like there's a bunch of actors who are doing like rom-com shit far later into their careers. Like that's not a big deal. Did you get the synopsis for The Idea of You?
Yeah, I pulled it up on IMDb. So we have Celine, a 40-year-old single mom, begins an unexpected romance with a 24-year-old Hayes Campbell, the lead singer of August Moon, the hottest boy band on the planet.
Gay.
No wonder they're giving her shit about doing this movie. It's like,
don't be like that, dude. Don't be like that.
No. But like, what the fuck is this?
No, it sounds good.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a Reese Witherspoon movie that's on. It's called Home Again. It's on Netflix, I believe, and it's kind of similar. Like she's a divorcee with like kids, and she lets these 3 younger dudes like live with him.
Huh.
And she ends up, I think, dating one of them.
Interesting.
Never seen that one, huh?
No. That one's
my rom-com bag. My rom-com bag. Check it out. Real deep, bro. Real deep. I'm starting to curate the top 5 list, by the way.
Top 5 rom-coms?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for me. I think I have one locked down, though. One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep tuned for that.
Okay. 51st Dates is your number 1, huh?
No, I do like it, but that wouldn't even be my number 1, like Adam Sandler rom-com, I feel like.
Damn.
Dude, The Wedding Singer is great.
Yeah.
The Wedding Singer is like very good.
That's the one where he's like,
never mind. The Wedding Singer. Yeah. He got that.
As soon as I started saying it, I was like, "You're an idiot."
What's your exact sentence going to be like? That's the one where he's like the wedding singer, right?
Moving on.
Oh, well, Dante, do you have it?
Do you have it?
Taste. I did it. Yeah, I got it. I knew I had to do it a second early. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sick.
Great. Love that.
Sick. Oh, man. We've really pulled this one together after your colossal fuck up to start.
I didn't fuck up. All right. How many do you got?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5.
Jesus Christ, dude. Get a life. I got 3.
No shit. All right. Well, I'll go first to kind of get us rolling then. I'll start with the obvious one, The Ones Who Live. I'll keep it brief this week. Maybe top 5 or 10 episode ever in the whole Walking Dead ever. Incredible. I said last week the acting performances in this are fantastic. Denai Guerrera, the woman who plays Michonne, she wrote and directed this episode. She was like the showrunner for it. And I told you last week, she pulls Rick out of the helicopter and says, we need to time him out. Like, we need to work some shit out. And the acting from these two in this episode is mind-blowingly good. And it draws you in, like, the Rick having these walls built up about like wanting to go back and leave his family and all of this stuff, and her being like not willing to accept it because she knows there's something else there. And as the episode progresses and you see those walls get broken down and you get like the depth of why Rick is like the way he is now, and you get by the end of it, and I'm going to minimize it a lot because I know a lot of people aren't like the people watching this maybe aren't watching it. So I'm not going to like bore everybody with like the intricate details of it, but there's just these scenes that are so like riveting of their just dialogue, dude. Like this, like it's a very dialogue heavy episode, but it's some of the most like, thought-provoking, like well-acted dialogue that they've had in these shows, maybe the show ever. And by the end, you get the return of like the real Rick Grimes. And it's worth it because you've gone through 4 episodes of build-up. And this show still hasn't been announced for season 2, by the way. But it's drawing, like the ratings are increasing with each episode. So it's growing. It's one of the most successful things. They signed a new toy deal for The Walking Dead as well. So like there's enough stuff here that people are pretty sure you're going to get, something is get another sequel or another season, or at least 1 or 2 more seasons. But from what I understand, like there's some thoughts that they're calling it a mini series because it's more likely to get nominated for like Emmys and shit like that by calling it a mini series as opposed to it calling like a new show. And that's kind of the reason they're doing it the way that they did it. But these past 2 episodes and like this one even more than last are the reason. Like Andrew Lincoln deserves some type of nomination. Like the guy is fucking great, and getting the return of like the true Rick Grimes. These last 2 episodes of the show should be balls to the wall, and they're going to be awesome. I feel like. So yeah, that was really, really good. If you're not watching, I keep saying like, get into this shit, watch it.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, same thing I said with Star Wars. It's just, there seems like there's way too much to catch up on. Yeah,
I'm not going to ask somebody who's never watched a single episode of it because as I jokingly said a couple weeks ago, like it is a lot there's just a lot to know now. And I do think it would be hard to watch this series and not have seen the 7 seasons of Rick on The Walking Dead, because you're not going to appreciate their relationship. You're also not going to appreciate like who he is as a character and what he has been for the first 3 or 4 episodes of this show to get this like culmination in episode 4 that you got, like it's one of those things where it's a payoff for the people who have dedicated years and years to this show at this point, and a lot of fucking time. And you're not even getting into like, as the show, I just feel like we're at this point with the show where when you get a season 2, when you get a season 3, and you know, seeing Michonne tell Rick about Daryl, and you're like, shit, we're going to get to see them together again at some point. Morgan is another character that had left long before Rick left the show even. And you're just going to like, you have these reunions potentially coming that are going to be worth it because they're going to be well paid off. And I think you have a lot of faith just seeing how they're treating this show and the care that's being given to it. Because the fact that you let Michonne write it, Denai, because it's an episode about a relationship, and she understands those characters better than almost anybody. So the respect that they gave to like, say, like, you write this, I think is why you ended up with such like a fulfilling story and like the payoff that you did.
Yep.
I'll drop one more before you go, just because that'll even us off for the rest. So I went to the movies.
All right.
This past week. It's a movie I'd been looking forward to seeing. I've talked about in the past. I like Kristen Stewart a lot, liked a lot of the movies that she has done. And she had her new movie, Love Lies Bleeding, come out, getting a lot of praise. I think Rotten Tomatoes has it like a 94% or something. It follows the story of Kristen Stewart lives and works in a small town. She's kind of a recluse, like quiet, kept to herself. She works at a gym. She works at a gym, and
can't remember the name of it because you haven't been to it how long. I
was going to say bodybuilding, but that's because the movie kind of centers around bodybuilding.
Gotcha.
So she works at a gym. This drifter woman like comes into town, gets a job at like the local gun range, and starts going to the gym. And she's training for a weightlifting show in Las Vegas. And they start a romance together. From there, you start to unravel like the violent past that this town has and how Kristen Stewart ties into this town. And it draws the girlfriend further and further in. And the movie's it's unhinged, I would say, is a good way to put it. It's uncomfortable at certain points, I would say, as well. They are great in it. It's unsettling more than uncomfortable. Like, I think a lot of the movie is unsettling, and it's not just like some of the scenes of violence are pretty rough. There's also a lot of scenes of her doing steroids, the bodybuilding girl, like doing steroids. And I don't do well with seeing needles go in to people and stuff. So you get a lot of that.
Oh, and like zoom in on it.
Yeah. Like they show the needles going in, and then like they do these like show like flex, and you see her veins like start popping and stuff. And I don't know, like I was just very like off put by some of the visuals that they're using, which was totally intentional. Like it was meant to be unsettling. And like, you know, you see the steroids and how they start to have an effect on this girl, like her, you know, her mentality and her thoughts. And like, she becomes more enraged, like easily. And like, you know, the testosterone's fucking pumping through her. And like, it's just, as things start to get more chaotic, she starts to get more chaotic because the steroids and the pressure and all of this stuff, and like jealousy kicks in, and she becomes like, hey, it's a messy movie. It's good. I would say it's very good. It's not going to be for everybody, I don't think. Also, funny story. I don't know if you saw this. Dude got arrested because he fell asleep masturbating in the movie theater.
No.
Yeah. Dude fell asleep jerking off at a theater, dick in hand.
So it couldn't have been that good.
Or the nut was that good that he took a nap afterwards.
Damn.
You know? Feel a little tired, knocked out.
Just passed out dick in hand, huh?
Yeah, he did. And I'm kind of surprised because like there is like a decent amount of like lesbian sex happening in it, but it's Okay, there is one part that I think was probably the part that he did it, because like there's a part like, I don't want to get too graphic here, but this is just paraphrasing the movie, people. This isn't my line. This isn't my dialogue. Kristen Stewart definitely asks and says, like, I want to see how far I can stretch you out. And she's not talking about her legs. No, like Scout's honor.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that happens. And again, like there's these times where you're in a movie theater by yourself and you're looking around and you're like, this is a lot. Is this happening right now?
You start getting self-conscious, like, damn, there's people watching me watch this.
Well, there was a guy in the seats next to me who was by himself too. I felt more uncomfortable because like for potentially, I guess some people are more mature than I am, so it probably wasn't uncomfortable for them. But there was a couple in the seats in front of me, and I was just like thinking about, like, that's got to be weird being on a date and like this is the movie that you're watching together, you know? But yeah, it's a recommend. I put it at 4 on my year to date movie theater rankings. So this is the 9th movie I've seen this year.
How many stars?
I believe I gave it 3 stars.
All right. Yeah, hold it as high as Rotten Tomatoes, huh?
No. I you know, like we do it all the time. It's just like the Rotten Tomatoes thing. It's like what they think movies are supposed to get.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird thing where I'm like, it's very good. The acting is very good. There's some there's great actors in it. There's some like very like crazy shit that's going on in it. Right. But it's like so weird that it's almost like, well, it's weird, so it should be considered like it's artsy. It's like, it's got to be good, you know? So we're going to give it like, that's the weird thing with me with some movies like this with ratings. So to me, Dune is the best movie still by far this year. Probably will continue to be. The Beekeeper was a more enjoyable like movie theater experience for me. I had more fun with it. And then you get to this or Origin, right? And I still think that the social element of Origin mixed with really good acting and like the thought-provoking nature of that story, to me, felt like it should stay at 3, and this came in right behind it. So yeah, it's ranked at 4, 3 stars.
Fair.
What do you got?
I'll start with one of the movies you've been telling me to watch for months now. The Proposal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Ryan Reynolds classic.
Yeah. Right guy. No, I mean, I really...
Are you going to work through like all the Ryan Reynolds rom-coms? Because that's not my favorite. Well, so I'll tell you after. Tell me how you thought of the movie. Sorry.
I came out pretty happy with it. I mean, I'm also like, I can't remember the last like Sandra Bullock movie I saw, but like when I think Sandra Bullock, I think like, well, I was going to say, when I think Sandra Bullock, I think like Miss Congeniality and like more her comedic side, which we didn't get that much of in this movie. So that kind of threw me off.
And you kind of do. You get the scene of her dancing in the woods with
no, there's like some like awkward funny scenes, but like
when the dog gets picked up by the eagle or whatever.
Yeah. No, there's definitely like some ridiculous scenes, but it's not so much her being funny as much as it is her in a funny situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. But
he like they're like contrasting personalities works really well for the movie, I thought.
Yeah, I think if they were both like the funny person, it probably wouldn't have played the same way.
Mm-hmm. She has to play the straight man. Straight woman.
But yeah, no, I mean, good story, funny moments, feel good ending. No complaints.
The best Ryan Reynolds rom-com, by the way, and this could be in consideration for a top 5 for me. Ryan Reynolds might be a top 5 rom-com actor for me, by the way. He has some great ones, but definitely maybe is his best.
I'd have to see like a trailer to know if I've seen it. I don't know. All these fucking rom-coms start to sound the same.
I don't think you've seen it.
No.
But because you would know it if you did. Definitely, maybe watch it. It's on HBO. Maybe that's a must watch. It's very good. It's a How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, like that kind of. Okay.
So it's him telling his daughter the story of how he met her mother, but not telling her who the mother is while he works through these 3 relationships that he had. And she's hearing the story, but not knowing which one of the women he's talking about is his mother, or is her mother.
I definitely maybe haven't seen this.
Yeah, it's a must watch.
All right. What else you got?
Quick one. I watched The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
I mean, still great. I don't know what kind of like urged me.
I was going to say, what made you pull that one out?
I don't really know. Like, I was looking for something. Like this week, I was in a bit more of an action mood than I was anything else, and I hadn't watched them in a while. And I kind of had just meant to watch like some of the Heath Ledger, like Joker stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just got caught up in the movie because it's very good, and kept watching. And I finished that movie, and I was like, you know what? Like, I hadn't watched The Dark Knight Returns in a long time. And I remember not really liking it as much, but this time I watched it, I feel like I enjoyed it quite a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, you watched it like in your TV in your room?
Yeah.
Do you have like good speakers in there?
I have a Beam and a sub.
Okay, nice. Because one of the things I remember with those movies is like they had some really good audio.
Yeah, it was super enjoyable. And like you obviously get drawn in with the second movie between, the Batman arc, the Commissioner Gordon arc, and then the Joker and Two-Face stuff. Like Aaron Eckhart is super underrated because he gets overshadowed by how good Heath Ledger is in that movie. But like all of those stories culminating, it's a very, very good movie. And then the last one, it's a little long, but this time watching it didn't feel as long. And like seeing Gotham the way it is. And I remember like I didn't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it as much as I did this time. So I think this is one of my favorite times watching that movie all the way through. And the best part about it is it leaves you wanting to see more.
Yeah.
Like you'd been happy to see a next step in the story. Like they set you up with a Robin. Like they give Bruce a happy ending. Like, and Anne Hathaway in that, very good. People forget Anne Hathaway, Catwoman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, not much to say there. Like it's, I don't need to retread a movie that's 15 years old now, but it was enjoyable. It was a good time.
Nice. All right, my turn. Are you familiar with the movie American Made? Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I am aware of it.
Okay. I recommend watching it. It was actually pretty
Gun Trade, Miles Teller in it, something like that. Is that right?
Miles Teller in it?
Maybe I'm wrong. It's Jonah Hill.
I'm terrible with names. Give me a sec. I'll get your name. Sorry. But yeah, it's Gun Trade. So like he's
it's a true story.
Yeah, it's based on a true story. He's a pilot that ends up getting like recruited by the CIA to do like recon missions, where he then gets recruited by the cartel to run drugs. And it's just that whole culmination of things, and it's fucking amazing.
I mean, Tom Cruise is that guy. I think what it was for me, at least, is that it's not like a traditional Tom Cruise action movie, so it never got me to like, drew me in to watch it.
I mean, you like Top Gun, you get to watch him fly planes in this.
Nice. Sold.
Was the guy you were thinking of Donald Gleason?
No, but sure.
Oh,
there's another Gun Trade movie with Miles Teller and I think Jonah Hill in it.
Okay.
That's just like a different movie.
Altogether.
Yeah. There's also a gun trade movie with Nicolas Cage called Lord of War.
I do know that movie. That was like he was a arms dealer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that movie that you'd like to bless us with?
No, I mean it's just Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise, great as always. Like great acting in that movie, and just watching him like balance the whole drug running thing between like trying to like keep his family separate from it and like that whole aspect of things. It's a really good movie.
The movie I was thinking of is called War Dogs.
War Dogs, okay.
With Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. Based on a true story of two young men who won a $3 million contract from the Pentagon to arm the United States allies in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up for me, I watched Code 8 and Code 8 Part 2 on Netflix.
Sounds familiar, but I'm not recalling what it is.
It stars the Amell brothers, Steven and Robbie.
Okay.
The sequel just recently came out within the past month or so, but I had never seen the first one. It's about a city in the future, basically, that people have powers, like all different powers, but it's illegal to use them. And you're like a secondary citizen if you have powers, rather than being like considered like cool and like, like a superior person. You're actually like held down because of your powers, and it's harder to make money and be successful, basically. And you're taught to like hide your powers. And Robbie Amell is the lead actor in it, and his mother is sick and he needs to make money, so he ends up taking on like a job that are illegal, like robbing people and stuff like that. And the person who's leading that group that he's working for is Stephen Amell. And so the first one was,
it's my type of like sci-fi movie. Might be.
Yeah, I think when I was watching it, I was thinking, I think you'd probably like it. Yeah.
Huh.
And the second one follows more of a traditional action movie, like storyline where you pick up where the last movie left off, like years after it, and Robbie Amell is trying to like start fresh with his life and gets drawn back in to the world that he came from because this girl witnesses her brother's murder and is now being chased by like a dirty cop and like a group of people who have powers, and he's protecting her.
Interesting.
It's good. It's really good. It's really good for like a Netflix movie. I assume we're going to probably get a third one at some point.
Just based on the way it ended.
Not even just the way it ended. I just think that they do well enough, and Netflix is always looking for stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that like the Amell brothers obviously want to keep doing movies together, so it's a good way for them to keep doing movies together.
Okay. Fine.
And what else do you have? You have one more?
Yeah. The last thing I watched was a movie called Richard Jewell.
I've heard of it. Don't know what it is.
It's based on a true story. Something I didn't know about, but I guess it's based around what year was it? I think it was like 96 Olympics in Atlanta. And there was like a bombing, and it's all about like the security guard that like found.
Oh yeah. I know the movie now. Yeah. It's really good, right?
Yeah, really good.
That guy acts his ass off in it.
That dude's amazing. Like,
yeah.
Like I talked about it when I watched that series on Apple TV, Blackbird. And he was one of the leads in that too, and like he was equally as amazing. Like he's an amazing actor, and like my first experience with him was in Cobra Kai, where it was just like he was a goof. So to see that he has those levels to it, it's just he's really fucking good. I'll watch anything he puts out at this point.
You're impressed.
Yeah.
That's one that I feel like I had been meaning to watch, and I have not ever like sat down and watched it, but it looks like it's a pretty like enthralling like drama, like something that'll draw you in.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. Like I just, we talk about like movies that make you feel something and like character development and like the level of acting. Like this movie has all of that. And I mean, I could say strong story, but when it's based on a true story, it's like they don't really have to do too much imagination around that, but just the way they develop the events and like watching how the characters play off of each other and how their relationships develop. It's a must watch.
Well, and like even though it's a true story, like it's so that you can't give them credit for the story. It is a matter of like taking a topic that one isn't easy to talk about. Two, I don't know how many people really like realize like or know that like there was a bombing at the fucking Olympics, like and to be able to put their own spin on it and make it that interesting, and the level of research that has to go into making something like that.
Yeah.
And have it be like accurate and make sense. And you want to do respect to those types of stories too, because people obviously like lose their lives and like it's a tragic thing.
Yeah. But just fucking great movie. Like Jesus Christ.
What streaming service is that on?
I don't think it was available for like free streaming. I'm pretty sure I rented it on Prime Video.
Okay.
That was another one of those things where, it popped up on YouTube Shorts for me. It was just a small snippet of it. And I was like, this looks really fucking good. And I just went and watched it.
It's, like sometimes it's all it takes is like a couple minutes and it's not like a trailer. It's like a minute and a half of like a scene that you're like,
yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. There was like a scene where it was him, like your main guy and the lawyer. And they're like kind of like going back and forth. And the whole beef started with like he was like, you just don't seem angry enough about this situation, like you're being wrongfully accused, and just like the slow buildup of him like blowing up, it was just like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, some of the best ways to find TV these days, or movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I had one more. So I was telling you before we came on here, so last night I started a TV show. I told you I was going to watch this last week, by the way, in my taste test. I've been meaning to watch it for a while now. So last night at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it was probably 11, I start watching the show. And I end up being up until 8 in the morning. And I binged a whole season of it.
If I didn't know your sleeping habits, I would say that speaks to the quality of the show. But
I mean, I would have been up till like 4 or 5 regardless, potentially. I did feel tired around midnight, but I was like, I kind of want to keep watching this and see where it's going. And I kept hitting next episode. So I watched Reacher on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On Prime, and I was just like, I like this a lot. I want to keep fucking watching it. It's very good.
Makes you like Alan Ritchson.
He is, I'm perplexed by him because I did really like him, but I still have moments where I'm like, is this guy a bad actor? Like, I still have like moments in there where I'm like, some of it's by design, but like he's supposed to be like the smartest guy in every room. But like, there's times where I just don't feel like he's smart, and it kind of throws me off a little bit. But he lives up to like the unstoppable, like fucking killing machine, like action star thing, obviously very well. And like the dialogue is witty enough and well written enough that it draws you in, and you want to see like, the twists and turns of the story. And there are definitely like some nitpicks that I could make about like things that I felt like, okay, if these guys are all so smart in the like trying to figure out who did what, there's some things where you're like, well, it'd be pretty obvious that guy was going to be a bad guy, Yeah. That they should have picked up on earlier that they didn't. I was going to mention Kristen Crook, who plays Lana from Smallville, is in that show, which I haven't seen her in very much at all in the past however many years,
Which she's done recently.
Not a ton that I'm aware of. She did that really bad Dragon Ball movie years back.
I never watched it.
Yeah, nobody really did Dragon Ball Evolution. I know that the guy who plays like Goku in that apologized because the guy who wrote Dragon Ball just passed away, or created Dragon Ball just passed away a couple weeks ago, and he apologized for like, he was like, putting a nice touching thing out there, and he's like, I'm sorry we made that movie, basically, because it's so bad. But yeah, I'm excited to watch season 2 of Reacher. I heard season 2, like they make some changes to the Reacher character, and I'm excited for that. One thing I'm kind of bummed out about is that the girlfriend's not returning in season 2, and it's like mostly a new cast, which I guess makes sense based on the character of Reacher and that he's a drifter, and like that there's multiple books written about different things that he does, cases he solves type deal.
Yeah.
But I won't lie, like she was one of the things I really liked about that season, Roscoe. Like I thought she was pretty great. So my type of woman, And I love me a good love interest. It's one of the things that keeps me watching.
You're a big softie.
So I still need to watch The Gentleman. So next week I'll probably I kept pulling that up and start like getting ready to watch it, and I just like kind of put it off. So I'm gonna watch that.
Came out.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Last week I said it was on Prime. It's actually all 8 episodes are on Netflix.
Okay.
So I'll watch that. I'm going to watch season 2 of Reacher. You also have 2 movies dropping in the movie theater this week that I'm going to check out. You have Immaculate, which is a Sydney Sweeney horror movie, which sounds like it's pretty good from all indications so far. And I'm interested to see that. Probably she's like appointment viewing at this point, I would say, as far as like lead actresses in Hollywood. So I'm excited for that. And you also have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire dropping this week.
Yeah.
So I'll go see that too. I'll probably see that first. I think that's going to be a Thursday thing for me, is Frozen Empire. And then some other point this weekend, I'll see Immaculate. You have anything on the docket?
I mean, I was only looking forward to Ghostbusters. I didn't realize the Sydney Sweeney thing was coming out this week, so I'll probably check that with you as well. No, this
isn't going to be in the theater by the time this podcast comes out, but The Matrix is getting a re-release this week in the theater for their 25th anniversary.
Are they doing like the whole trilogy or just the original?
No, the first movie. It's going to be in Dolby.
Oh shit! Sick.
Tomorrow, so the 20th.
So yeah, last week for you guys.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go see it. But it's an interesting one. I like when they put these movies back into the theater for a day or two.
Yeah,
for people to go and see it. I think that's always kind of cool. To see like these great action movies updated with better sound and better screens is always pretty cool. So it's something to consider. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to watch it, but it's something,
All right.
Okay. And what an episode. What an episode. We started Rocky, but we did a little montage. We came out the other side beating the fuck out of Clubber Lang, baby. Oh, I watched Ted 1 and 2.
Did you? You'd never seen the movies before?
I've seen them. But that reminded me of it because in the second movie, which the first one may be funnier, but the second one might have a better story, by the way. But in the second movie, it's Ted's, they tell Ted that he's not a real person, basically.
Yeah.
And he wants to legally make his name Ted Clubber Lang. That's why that came to my head. But I've been watching some of the TV show too. I haven't watched all of it. I've watched like 3 episodes.
Ask you that, yeah.
I've watched like 3 episodes. How do you feel
about it so far?
I mean, it's okay. It's not like I thought the porn episode was pretty funny.
So like for me, I wonder if your take is similar, where it's like that first episode almost is like too try hard, trying to be funny. So like it takes away from it a little bit, but as you get into like the story of it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think there's still good chemistry. I think the Ted character is just funny in itself. Like I think that it still maintains its like edginess and everything, but watching the movies, it still doesn't compare to like the chemistry that like Wahlberg has with this little fucking teddy bear. It is really weird watching the first two back to back and seeing the relationship between Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis. And like the end of that first movie, and like he's going to change and all this, and then he's divorced in the second movie. And I think it was just a scheduling thing where it couldn't work for her to come back for the sequel, and that's why they had to write her out. But it is a little weird. And then I was trying to figure out the age gap, because like he's supposed to be like in his late 30s, and Amanda Seyfried or whatever is like freshly graduated law school. So I imagine there's like a 12-year age gap. It was just a little weird. Like it makes sense because he's just a kid still. Like he still just does nothing and smokes weed every day, you know? And it's like he's just hanging out with this chick who's like 12 years younger than him, just smoking weed every day. And like this is a real regression for your character growth. Like, you know, like all of the things that like your wife, like, and he says, like, my wife just wanted me to change me. Like, our whole relationship was just her wanting me to be something I didn't want to be. And that's why they didn't work, which I appreciate that. Like, because this is basically, he is just the same guy that he was saying he wasn't going to be through the whole first movie.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it was good. I'm going to keep watching the TED Show. It's one of those things where I throw it on when it's like later at night and I'm just trying to like mindlessly watch something and not get caught up in like a binge thing.
Yeah.
So I can watch like an episode of it and just be like, all right, cool. I'm going to shut this off now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Until next week though, guys, we appreciate you as always. Love, peace and prosperity.
The fuck? What do you live, laugh, love guy now?
Yeah, if you could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great. Follow us on Instagram at For Those With Good Taste. Follow us on X at Good Taste Live, on TikTok at FTWGT, right here on YouTube, as well as everywhere audio podcasts are provided. Oh, hey, I'm streaming again, by the way. I streamed last week. I did my first couple weeks of WWE 2K. So check that out. I'm going to be streaming at least once a week on Wednesdays. If I have time other days, I will be hopping on and streaming generally for like probably close to 2 hours. I'll stream. So Wednesday afternoons, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, just keep an eye out. Keep your notifications on. Maybe I go live at other times. Dante, you got anything going on the socials?
No progress.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Keep lying to the people.
Yeah. And until next week, everybody, we love you. Peace. Bang. Bang. Bang.
Extra dumb.
For those with good taste.